Welcome to Season 4 of Casual Camping Podcast, your home for the best camping discussion both in and out of the field. Here are your hosts, Tim and Ade.
Hello, you wonderful people. I see you back again, like the wonderful people you are. Welcome to another Casual Camping Podcast. I'm Ade.
And I'm Tim. I'm so excited, Ed.
In your Apple Music library.
Oh, you got Siri talking to you.
Yeah. She couldn't find Casual Camping Podcast in my Apple Music library.
What do you mean you can't find Casual Camping Podcast? How very dare she? How very dare she?
She lets me down quite a lot. I can't find what you're looking for, Ade. I was like, stop searching. It's a private search.
Oh God, there's 1,000,001 jokes in there that I can't say. And I know last week's episode it wasn't close to the line; it was over the line in many ways.
I think there was an F-bomb in there, Tim, unless you took it out.
No, I left it in. I left it in because I forgot there was an F-bomb in there. I did hear it.
Apologies, people.
I listened back this week and I was like, oh, he F-bombed. Ah, well, he apologised for it. You did kind of stop yourself halfway through. It was kind of a fuh.
Yeah, sorry if people are listening with children. We'll keep it clean this week, or as clean as we personally can do, which, to be honest, is filthy.
No, we won't. I was reading through some of the fan mail that we've previously got, and somebody on there was saying, it's just a bunch of dirty jokes and people pretending they know about camping, but it's really funny.
Oh, that's a good synopsis.
Yeah.
Let's change. 2 Yorkshire blokes that just love no. Get it changed, Tim. Get it changed.
How are you?
Absolutely brilliant. I am good. It's still warm in the UK. I'm a bit miserable about this fire ban and stuff, but I understand it. I can't tell you how many fireplaces and wood burning stoves I own probably about 10. I've got one in the shed, one at the bottom of the garden. I've got one through sweeping. I've got 3 fire pits for camping and one in the house. And I'm a bit scared to use all of them, to be honest.
Yeah, it is bonkers, isn't it? I've got two fire pits and 2 wood burning stoves for camping, for hot tenting. I don't have one in the house, but at some point I will put one in the house. You just can't use them at all at the moment. Are you allowed to use like wood burners in the house, or have they banned that as well?
No, they've not burnt that, and that should be sort of quite fine. But it's warm. Nobody's got them on.
Yeah,
I'm sweeping them, but nobody's got them on yet. So it'll change. Like we had September winds.
Yeah, we had a good downpour last night. I'm hoping that we get a significant bit of rain over the next sort of week or so, because bank holiday weekend I am camping, and I really hope that we're allowed to have some kind of a fire. I'm not holding out a lot of hope, I have to admit, but it would be nice if we get a really decent amount of rain between now and then, which I don't think is forecast in the UK. It would be nice though if we could.
Well, as we've advised previously, Tim, make sure that you ask the site for advice. But I know generally people are cautious, aren't they? Sites will be cautious, and that fire ban will take quite a bit of lifting. So we're going to have some downpours. We've got to have a lot of water in the ground before people will start to go, oh yeah, no, it's okay now.
Yeah, it takes a lot for a government to put a ban in place. It takes a hell of a lot for them to take it off again. It's so I don't imagine we'll be having a fire in the field in a week's time, but we will be fine. We will be fine. We'll come up with some entertainment.
Yeah, well, where you're going looks like it's a nice open field with water nearby. So no foliage, no things like that. So who knows, Tim? But follow the rules.
Yeah, yeah.
That's what we're saying.
Might go for a swim. Might go for a wild
Ooh,
swim.
wow. Well, that boggles the mind, really.
I didn't say I was going to wear Speedos.
Well, that's what a wild swim is, isn't it? Where you've got knout on.
No, that's skinny dipping. No, there's loads of people called wild swimming, Ed. They're not all naked. Is that what you think happens on Camp Wild?
Oh,
we've got
God.
an invite to go and camp with those people, but it's really tough trying to fit them into the calendar, isn't it? It's
Well, especially if it was naked, what I did.
no. I was joking that's what you thought. They,
Yeah,
I'm
no.
sure they remain fully clothed the whole time. Oh
Well.
God, that invite has just been rescinded, hasn't it?
Well, I mean, I do love what those guys are doing, and they are getting you out to places that you wouldn't normally be able to go. So have a little check out of Camp Wild. It isn't anything to do with naturists, honestly. Sorry, guys.
Moving on. What are we talking about this weekend? Moving on.
Prank caller. Well, I set you a challenge, didn't I?
You did set me a challenge.
And that challenge was, if you know what you know now, would you have the same kit? And what kit would you be buying if you had to start all over again, knowing what you know now? So, a good challenge, a bad challenge, Tim?
A good challenge. So I interpreted it slightly differently. So I interpreted it as if I was just getting into camping now, but had all of my existing knowledge about camping, what would be my first pieces of kit that I'd get? So what would it be that I would set myself up with as a camping kit? Does that make sense?
Yeah.
I know I've kind of
that's kind of I don't think it's that's what I'm meaning. It's just it's saying it with too many words as usual. I'm a bit of a chatty Cathy.
Oh.
A chattering Catherine, as some people say.
Do they? I've never heard that.
Haven't you?
I've heard chatty Cathy, but never.
A chattering Catherine is where chatty Cathy comes from. Yeah.
Well, there we go.
You've learned something new.
Meanwhile, in Dictionary Corner.
Meanwhile, in the 21st century. And I call you Sandy Totsvig.
Oh, funny.
There's John in Australia going, who's Sandy Totsvig? She's not made it over this way.
Yeah, she sounds hot. No, John, no.
Not with those sweaters on.
Not with those jowls.
She is a funny lady, but yes.
Funny, haha. She's a comedian. She's funny.
Yes, very funny.
Okay, so I put a list together. I put a list of what I did is I put a list of what I probably needed, as in topics, areas of, and then I've gone shopping, and I've got a shopping list.
That's the bit that I wanted. Where have you gone shopping? And we have accumulated kit We've got stuff that becomes dead to us because you find something new, or we've gone from small micro tents to actually I want to stand up in a tent. Oh, I want a tent stove. And actually, and now we're starting to go back a little bit, though. The lovely people from Van Gogh have given us some very nice gear. And some of the things that we want to go and do, like adventure camping and stuff. Tim's miming at me. Sorry for the giggles. It's all just one big giggle, isn't it? This. And so, yeah, so it's now going back to other things. And I think that it was just a thought of, what would you do if you had that knowledge now and, you've gone shopping, which is the idea of the challenge.
Cool.
Haha, let's go spend some money.
Hey.
You're welcome, people.
So like you say, we've gone through lots of iterations of tents, and my first tent was a £50 dome tent from Ambleside Countryside Show, and it was great. It was just a very simple dome tent, 3-person dome tent, and my first stove was one of those briefcasey stoves that lasted about 3 months before it broke. It's and you kind of think, oh, that's what I need, and then you get someone else and you go, oh, that doesn't quite work. And we've done all of those things, and yes, we've got bigger tents and we've got smaller tents, and we both own a stupid amount of tents because we do a camping podcast, so we go camping in lots of different guises. But I put myself sort of back into Tim, in his early 20s, trying to go camping and not knowing anything, but actually now I do know loads of stuff. So, shopping now, what's on my shopping list, and then actually what have I got? So I thought, well, I need a tent. I need a tent.
Mm-hmm.
But I thought, not too big and not too small. I remember being Tim in my early 20s and being in love with the ultralight, super lightweight hiking tents, and I wanted to put someone on my back and go climbing a mountain. Yep. But actually, I think the reality is, unless you're climbing a mountain every single weekend, that's not the tent you want, because most of the time you're going to be in a camping field on a campsite where the reality is you need a little bit more space than an ultralight, hiking tent to go up a mountain and through hiking and all of that. The vast majority of camping you're going to do when you're first starting is probably going to be on a campsite. And you do just need that little bit more space than an ultralight tent, was what I was thinking. You don't want some massive, great big cathedral, because you're probably camping, either you and a partner, maybe you and a little one at most. So you don't want some massive, great big cathedral tent that you're then going to have to try and fill and carry and figure out how to put up and all. You need something that's
something that maybe, something that you kind of think, all right, I've got to get there and start to put that up, and it takes you ages. And I think you're right. Something that you can manage yourself gives you quite a bit of space. I think you're dead right. Did you right? What did you plump with?
I actually plumped with the Van Gogh Classic Instant 300 that I camped in up in the Trossachs a few weeks ago, because one, it's super easy to pitch, so you don't want something that's overly complicated. It's an incredibly solid structure, so it will really go through any weather and wind without being one of these semi-geodesic, how the hell do I put that together, complicated things. It's so easy to pop up because it literally pops up. And the volume of space inside it is cavernous for what is a 3-person tent. It's the amount of headspace. You can properly kneel up in that. You can properly be in that tent for, you could camp for a week in that, actually, in a camping field, if that was the only tent you had. It's got a porch at either end, so somewhere for wet gear and somewhere for your cooking stuff. And another thing, it's a super versatile tent, and I just thought it's it's bigger than an ultralight, tiny little lying down, super lightweight hiking tent. It's not as big as some enormous big 4, 5, 6 person cathedral tent, but it's got that, it sits perfectly in the in between. And at a price point of, what is it? I mean, on the Van Gogh website, it's 180. I did find it for £119 on one website today. And that is a steal of a tent at 120 quid. So I went for that because I think it fits into that. I need a tent. I've never really done camping before. I don't want something too small and I don't need something too big, but I need something that I can grow a little bit because there's tons of space in there for a one person. There's loads of space for two. And actually, if you're a couple with a little kid, you're going to get 3 people in there really comfortably and still have room for your stuff. So that'd be the tent if I was just getting into camping now. Knowing everything I know, that's the tent I'm going for because it's also an incredible price point.
Yeah, well, aren't you on point, Tim? Because, obviously, we've just been to Van Gogh, but you did get to try it out. And I know what you're saying. I mean, it was brilliant. I saw a video the other day of somebody that's gone, I've had this tent for 50 years.
Yeah.
I was like, wow, yeah, of course you have. Yeah.
Yeah. Or was that the classic? The original classic?
It was the classic, yeah, sorry, rather than the
classic instant.
Yeah. So
it's still
so good.
Construction-wise, incredibly well constructed. And I'm not just saying that because we went to Van Gogh. We loved this tent 2 years ago when we saw it.
When it won Best in Show, didn't it?
It did. And we were
like it was a little doggy.
Needed a rosette on it. It was a stunning thing. It stopped us in our tracks, and it's a great tent. It's a rethinking of a classic tent. But I just think if I was coming into camping now, knowing what you kind of need at that point in your camping journey, that'd be the tent I'd be getting. It's Matt Nye, who's got the great big
Hollow
Wild, yeah. He was messaged me, asking me about the classic instant this week, saying they're thinking of getting a smaller tent so that they could just go away quickly. And would I recommend that? And I was like, absolutely, I would recommend that. It's a great tent. And it doesn't just come in bright orange; it does come in like a grey blue, and then there's they do like a pattern on it as well, like a pattern version as well, which is pretty cool. So you've got a mix up of stuff there. But that'd be my tent. There are other tents that would also fit that sort of category. There are lots of tents out there that are about a 3-person tent. But I don't think they necessarily give you the internal living space that tent gives you, and the 2 porches and the 2 entrances and the versatility that then allows. Because you do need a tent where you can put wet stuff, and you do need a tent where you can also put dry stuff. And if you're not going to those larger tents that have got bedrooms and living rooms and porches, which you don't need a tent that big when you're first getting into camping, that tent, the Van Gogh Classic Instant 300, ticks all of those boxes, which I haven't really found a 3-person tent that does the same.
Yeah.
I proper did some thinking for this. I had some fun doing this.
You actually did, and you put yourself into younger Tim as well. I can see that. Well done.
That sounds a little bit odd.
No,
psychologically speaking.
Psychologically, think of younger Tim's shoes. Those 9.5s. Those blood-soaked 9.5 boots.
Younger Tim's trainers that were Nicks because he couldn't afford Nikes. We was poor people. We was very poor.
We
was very poor. Oh,
God. but
Okay.
I think a good choice. So, what next is on your list, Tim?
Next was obviously something to sleep on and something something to sleep on to start with, and we've talked long and hard, and we'll probably bore people. You got to get your ass off the ground.
Yeah.
But that tent isn't going to allow for a full size camp bed because it's big, but it's not that big. But it will allow a low rise camp bed. So you're still getting your backside off the ground, and
Yeah.
but you're not like seating height, which is what sort of the camp beds that we've got now. And when I first got into camping, it was rubbishy airbeds that let you down in the middle of the night. We talked about that. They leach cold from the ground, so you're just sitting on super chilled air. You don't know that when you're first coming into it. You just think, oh, it's a big thing of air. That's going to be comfortable. But actually, it's like sleeping on a bouncy castle. It isn't what you want, and they do let you down so much. What you need is a low rise for that tent. I went with a low rise camp bed and a decent sim of at least sort of 5 to 7 centimeters worth of depth. So you've got real comfort on there, lots of thermal properties because you lose most of your heat to the ground, which I didn't know back when I was starting camping. It took me years to realize that. So this will mean that I'm off the ground, even if I'm just off the ground a little bit, I'm off the ground. And I've got a really deep sim on there, so I've got loads of lovely comfort, and I'm going to be like sleeping like a king.
Yeah. Which low rise camp bed did you go with?
I went with the okay. Now this does sound like we're sponsored by Van Gogh, but
I kind of knew this was building up to that,
I know.
But we did love it though, didn't we?
We did really love it, and we, that reel that we've got on our socials has gone absolutely nuts. It's nearly 100,000 views on that video now.
I tell you what, Chris, if you're listening, if you sell out of that, that's the power of a casual camping podcast.
Absolutely,
so,
absolutely. Same thing happened to their smokeless fire pit. I'm just saying. But
I'm just saying, tell you what, I mean, Coleman, those numbers can't be bad. Coleman, I bet they sold out of their pack and go cooler.
Well,
the power of us. Thank you, people, for listening. Thank you for viewing those things. And, those Yorkshire lads just blow up sometimes.
We do. But that was a super great camp bed. It's got a zip on it. We had a couple of comments on socials about how that zip will never hold me. I'm really fat.
Honestly, I wanted to slap those people.
Yeah.
Just hold your little whingy thoughts in sometimes. Oh, that zip will go first, won't it? Yeah, okay. Well, stay off the beers and the pies then if you want to be worried about it. Or you know what? Sometimes things just fail. Because, how many people go on about Sims that have failed and stuff?
Yeah.
It's not Bounty Castle. Don't get on it and try and bust the seams.
Yeah. And Van Gogh are one of the few companies that will actually repair stuff and will do a root cause analysis of why it failed. And, that will include if you've been a lard arse and got on it and jumped around on it. But it was super secure, was that zip. I loved the way it folded up into absolutely nothing so that you could really pack that away. But it kept you, a good few inches off the ground, even with my hefty weight. I'm not the lightest guy at the moment. And it was long enough for me, because I also learnt the hard way. I do need longer things, because I am tall. It does actually make a difference. Having sleeping mats that your feet hang off the end and your feet are touching the cold floor, you're freezing your ass off. It doesn't matter how great the sleeping mat is. You're freezing your ass off all night, aren't you?
Yeah, you do need longer things, Tim. Longer things. I've heard that rumour. Not saying where I heard it from, but, started with the boots. You needed them longer too, didn't you?
I did need longer boots. Yeah, longer in the foot. Oh dear.
I think I kind of knew where you were coming from with that. I have had a super duper cot bed that I got bought for present one Christmas.
Hmm.
I think it was the Thermarest little cot, and it was DAC pulls that fitted
Oh
into these
yeah,
little things that twisted. It was a faff. And you know what that Van Gogh thing was? Not a faff.
not a faff
Wasn't a
at all.
faff.
No, just fold it out and
Something that
zip
did it
down.
and then got you off the
Yeah,
ground.
no threading stupid pull because I've had a low riser one before. We have to thread through pulls through and twist this thing over that and pull this bit in there, and it was a real faff. That wasn't a faff at all. It
Yeah.
fold it all out, zip down, bang.
But that's because this is a list of things that you've learnt from.
Yeah, totally,
And,
totally.
if we did this again in 5 years' time or whatever, there'd be a new list of other things. Companies are always developing stuff,
Yeah,
and there's a lot of things. People just don't want the faff sometimes, and that was just a real great invention,
yeah.
and a super duper way of doing it. And you know what? You get a good lot of time out of those things. And if you take care of stuff, I don't think people take care of stuff in the same way that,
No, they expect it to last for 20 years.
pay very little and then it lasts for a lifetime.
Yeah.
And that's not,
And in the meantime, they kind of abuse it and throw it in the back of the garage. That Venn diagram doesn't work.
it doesn't. Yeah. What's that? I did see something there. It was like, right, you want something quick, but you want it to last thing, then it's going to be expensive.
Yeah.
What you don't need it to last, but then and you want it to be cheap, right? Okay, those
Yeah,
things.
yeah.
You can't have it all the time.
No. The sim that I went with was actually a decathlon sim.
Yeah.
They do an Ultim. I liked it because it's got Tim in the title. Ultim. Ultim Comfort. And it's two
How do we spell this? Ultim,
UL
as in
Tim.
Ultima. Oh,
No, it's just UL Tim.
Ah.
It is Ultim. It's like Ultimate, but it's just Ultimate Tim.
bit less than. bit less than Ultim. I'm going to change that on my phone now for you. Ultim.
Ouch.
It's a little bit past his best.
Well, we know that. I'm 51 now. I'm 51 now. I'm way past my best, past my prime. It's
Tim, we're just getting there. We're just getting there. 50s are the new 40s. Said the people who were getting older.
Said the people who just got into their 50s.
Yeah, you never hear those 20-year-olds going, I can't wait till I get to my 50s.
No.
God damn them. God damn them.
Funny.
Damn them to hell.
Anyway, I've got a lot of stuff on this list, Ed.
Yes, okay. Come on. I'm doing the comedy here.
I know. But you set me a challenge, and I've kind of run with it. It's
Yeah.
So that is
It's showing me a piece of paper that is like really long. It's double-sided, Jesus.
double-sided. And I've got
Come
another
on,
one.
Tim, get on with it.
I've got another one.
We've only got you under shelter and off the ground at the minute.
I know. It's but anyway, it's so the camp bed's 70 quid, and put the sim to go on top of it is 90. But
Wow.
it's worth paying for stuff you're going to sleep on.
I wouldn't have paid that when I was just starting out.
No,
I'd be
not
like,
at all.
what?
You'd have gone, no. But you'd have
I
been
want the fancy tent.
Yeah, you'd have been bloody uncomfortable and really cold, and it would have pissed you off. And whereas actually that sleeping system, you are going to sleep like royalty.
Like a baby, like
yeah.
a princess and a pea.
You're going to be really warm. You're going to be really comfortable. You can side sleep because it's 8 centimeters deep. It's that mat. You are really going to be comfortable with that, and it's worth every penny. And I wish I knew that when I first got into camping. It's worth every penny.
I wish. I've only the last 6 years is where I've got my sleeping system down pat, and I'd stick with that. If I was doing this list, if I'd not challenged you, I'd stick with what I've got.
Yeah.
Because I think for me, it's the comfortablest thing. But yeah, you're right. You're right. Definitely.
Who's Pat?
I got it down pat.
I'm Tim.
You're all Tim. I'll have you know. don't shorten it now. Ultim. Wait on, we need an echo on that. Ultim. It's coming out with his little pants on. You were going swimming. I've just remembered it.
Swimming in my pants. Oh, like at Hackness. Oh my God. We're running out of time and I've only done 2 things.
Come on, we've got 8 minutes 53. We're going to get to it.
We're not. We'll take as much as we're going to take. Sleeping bag. I wish I had a down sleeping bag when I first got into camping. I wish I think it was like a Halford's sleeping bag, or it might have even been a Tesco one. It was cheap as chips, had no thermal properties, gave me more static than anything else, and was just rubbish. And the sleeping
Zip
bag
jams. I think I had my first sleeping bag for about 10 or 15 years.
Yeah, well, I think I had my first sleeping bag for about 10 or 15 quid. It's yeah. It was a supermarket special.
Yeah, people, the price that you pay is not the length of time you have to hold it.
What, £1 a year?
That's proper Yorkshire, Tim. Proper Yorkshire. Oh dear.
It's so again, you put your money into all the wrong stuff, don't you, when you're starting out? And comfort is what it's all about. So I've gone super expensive with the sleeping bag because I'm saying this because it's true, not because we're sponsored, because we're not sponsored, but it's the sleeping bag that Van Gogh gave us. I have not.
You like it?
I've not slept in something so nice as that. It weighs nothing. It packs to nothing. Yet it's got massive thermal properties. I realise why it's got massive thermal properties, because it's got an inbuilt like a microfiber layer to it. It's called Arctics, isn't it? And the Arc is advanced reflective coating, so it's actually got its own inbuilt liner to it to give it an extra boost. Super comfortable and stupidly expensive because my first sleeping bag was probably about £15 and this is 250 quid. I probably wouldn't spend £250 on a sleeping bag to start with, but it is the sleeping bag I've got now, and I
have spent 250 quid on a sleeping bag.
Okay.
But, it might have just been gazumped by the Van Gogh one that I got because it packs down much smaller. But that is the golden thing, isn't it? Spend it where you'll get the most sleep, and rather than looking at the fancy that everybody goes, oh look, he's got a really good tent and stuff. It's all the other things. You get a much better night's sleep from it.
Yeah, when you're in your tent, what you don't realise when you haven't got into camping yet is when you're in your tent, you can't see your tent because you're in your tent. So it doesn't, this tent that I'm saying we should start with actually looks cool anyway. But
it does.
When you're in your tent, you actually need stuff to make you comfortable. So comfort's what it's all about. It's all about being warm and comfortable and breathable, and so that's probably the most expensive stuff is kind of there, really, pretty much, because it's incredible to think, oh, I'm going to put all that money into stuff that's I'm just going to kind of sleep in, and how much time am I going to spend asleep? Well, if you've been walking the hills all day and you're all aching, you're really knackered, you really want a good night's sleep because you're going to do the same the following day. So it is really worthwhile spending the money on your sleeping system, what you're sleeping on, what you're sleeping in.
Yeah,
And don't forget
those
a
are
pillow. Don't forget a
yeah,
pillow.
those are words to live by, and we've not always done that.
No.
I've certainly gone with, things that look pretty, but, and because I might have spent a lot on those, I've had some fantastic tents, which I dearly, dearly loved,
Mm.
but then I've been wrapped up in, a 15-year-old, 20-year-old sleeping bag that's not that good because
Yeah.
I've spent the money in the wrong area.
Yeah.
Maybe not in the wrong area, but, I've just not invested in those things. And I think it's a big life lesson for camping.
Yeah.
They're not the sexiest things, aren't sleeping bags and mattresses, but they are worth their weight in gold.
Yeah. They really
bar
are.
none, bar none. That is our number one top tip, I think, of
Yeah.
this episode.
And obviously,
Rethink what you're doing, people, if you've
yeah.
not spent the money on those things.
And obviously, if you are just getting into camping, you're not necessarily going to have the budget to go and buy all of these things, but kind of angling things towards, get a good tent, but don't go big, don't go ultra light, don't go ultra
Go second
tiny.
hand if you need to,
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I wouldn't go personally. I wouldn't go second hand with a sleeping bag. I just wouldn't do that. But get a decent bed, get yourself off the ground and get yourself comfortable and warm. That's where you need to spend your budget, a big chunk of your budget.
Yeah.
So then we get a lot cheaper because then it was like, well, I didn't know anything about chairs, and
Yeah.
the super important thing of having the right camping chair is just like, it took me a few years. I'm not going to say it took me loads of years, but it took me a few years to get to a good quality chair. Because then I went through like cheap petrol station chairs, and literally probably threw a couple of them because they just break, don't they? It's
Well, they do, and once again, you don't invest in that. It's only with the more time that you spend sat in a chair, and I got recommended one. I've sat in different chairs while we've gone camping with people, and then I've stuck to more or less the same chair for a good 10, 15 years. And I've bought many of these chairs. So I had 4 of them at one stage for other people coming with me. I've bought them as gifts for people because people really like them. And yeah,
Yeah.
it's you once you get that level that you need.
I did the same. So after going through a few petrol station chairs, I bought an Outwell Goya chair, and I used that for about 12, 13, 14 years. I still have it. There's nothing wrong with it. It's now my garage chair. And it's great. It's absolutely brilliant. The only reason I swapped it was I went to another Outwell chair that had wider feet because I was using it inside the tent. And that's a brilliant chair. But in using it a bit more, I realised that the seating angle is just not quite right. And I sat in yours Empire chair, is it the Roco low rider chair? Yeah,
Yeah.
and it was just like a bloody dream. It was just brilliant. So I've swapped to that now. But I wouldn't necessarily say go with that chair. What I would say is sit in every chair you can possibly go to and try them out because it's super important to get a chair that's right for you. So then I'm probably thinking storage, which really isn't something that even occurred to me until probably about 5 years ago in my camping journey, was that actually you probably need some proper dedicated camping storage because if you're going to start buying camping equipment, you're going to need somewhere to put it to keep it all safe, and all those little bits and little tiny things, cutlery and plates and stuff like that, and food and all of those things. So I looked at some camping boxes, and obviously I've gone through flight boxes, which are great and super lightweight. But actually, I found a oh God, in my extensive list, I can't find it now. Where is it? There. Again on Decathlon, they're only $42.95. They're stackable, which I really liked. It's a Toledo Bodin box. It comes in two sizes. The large is $42.95. And what I really liked is because they're stackable, you don't get in through the top, you get in through the front and the side. They have kind of fold down flaps. So you can like pop the side or the front down and reach in to get your stuff. So, you can get one to start with, and then as you get more equipment, you can get another one and stack it on top. And it means that you're not, because I've had storage boxes where the only way to get into it is the top. And everything you put on top of it, you have to move it off to get anything out of the box, which is super annoying, massively super annoying. That's why I love the flight boxes that I've got, because it's a door on the front and I pull trays out. It's absolutely, they're brilliant. I love them. But I thought that was a really cool box because you can get in the end or the front, and as you get more stuff, you just get another one and you can stack them up and stack them up. A really great camping box.
I do like the sound of those, and you're perfectly right. One of my favourite camping boxes are the Snow Peak 25 containers, which have a little latch on so that the sides kind of diagonally fall open. So you get a ridge that comes up in the middle, but it does mean that you can get side access to things.
Yeah.
And they are stackable in either way. You can have the top one that's still closed up, but yeah, you're perfectly right with that. And we've said it for a long time. If you're going camping and you're getting into it, or whether raiding your kitchen cupboards for bits and pieces is not a good way. You're going to lose stuff. You're going to forget stuff. You don't want to be, your kitchen stuff is not necessarily fit for the outdoors, and vice versa.
Yeah.
Although I do have some pretty good stuff either way. But you're right. Having that is a real must,
Yeah.
And yeah, I wish I'd learnt it sooner.
Yeah. I mean, on that point of borrowing stuff from your kitchen, I'll jump down my list and say a kitchen kit. And actually, what I use at the moment is what I would recommend somebody goes and buys. So I've got the MSR kitchen set, which is I found it as cheap as £48 today. And it's brilliant. It's got everything in there. It's got a chopping board, a knife, a cheese grater, spatulas. It's got a thing for your oil, a thing for your washing up liquid, a scrubber to clean stuff with. It's got everything in there, and it's dedicated stuff for camping. It's super versatile. You can add to it. It's got a little spice thing. I've added cutlery in there and a few other bits and bobs that I feel I need, and it means you're not raiding your kitchen cupboard. And I just think it's such a brilliant kit, and it would live in your camp box. And that's what I would absolutely recommend. You've got everything then to cook with. Because when it comes to cooking, I kind of have a thing of, you got to have something to cook with, something to cook on, something to cook in, and something to serve it on, and that's your something to cook with, because it's great. It's great having something to cook on and something to cook in, but how are you going to stir it? Are you going to do all of that stuff? And as you said, you don't really want to be raiding your kitchen for things, because it's just it's an excuse to go and buy more stuff, people.
Well, yeah. Everybody does say listening to us is not cheap. But, those things that just make camping simpler, easier, more convenient, or just good fun because you bought something that you like using,
Yeah, I mean,
you
you
know.
bought me that. I think that was a birthday gift a few years ago. Because I'd always been very envious of yours. It's one of the best presents I've had. And
I've had mine for years, and the outside box of it, MSR, if you're listening, they're not listening, Tim, they're not listening.
they're not listening,
But
Ed.
You know, I'm gonna have to buy myself a new kit, and yet I don't want to because actually, it's a waterproof membrane that's on the outside of it.
Yeah,
It's coming off mine. I've had it so long and used it so much, and I love it so much.
yeah,
But it is that thing of I don't want to buy a new kit because I love everything in it, and it's not worn out. It's just the outside of it that's worn out.
yeah.
But
From
once
use.
again, some of the best stuff and not the sexy stuff for
Yeah,
camping.
yeah. That is not, and that's the reality of the challenge that you set me was knowing what we know now. What would we buy as sort of first time purchases, and that is not sexy at all. That would never have been on my list as early in my early 20s, just coming into camping. That would not have been on my list in a million years. I was taking stuff from home, absolutely. But you know what? It bloody should have been because it's such a great piece of kit. And had I seen it and had the money for it, I'd have been all over it because it's such a cool piece of kit. It's got everything in it you need to help you cook and make your camping cooking experience a lot easier.
Yeah. Yeah, it's good, good, good. I like it. I like it a lot. Especially seeing as I've bought you something. I was like, oh yeah, thank you very much.
uh, some of those gifts are the best purchases you didn't make.
Oh man, but that's it. It's always some of the best gifts are the things that you wish you'd kept, or
Yeah, yeah,
yeah,
yeah,
the gift that keeps giving. But
yeah.
yeah,
Cool.
so we've not got to cooking on yet, have we? Is
No,
that on your
no. So,
list?
so cooking on. So as I say, I have this thing of you got to have something to cook on, something to cook with, something to cook in. So you need a stove essentially. You need a pot. You need something to stir it all with and prepare it all, and then you need something to serve it on. So my cooking setup really is, and again, this is going to be expensive, but there's no surprise here. It's got to be a jet boil. Um, I'm not going to say a little tiny rocket jet boil because I did have one of those and it was great. And I jumped into that early on. I had one of the original PCS systems, which I used for about 15 years, and it didn't fail then. I just progressed. I just moved on. But they're great if you want to boil water fast. And they're brilliant for that. And they will rehydrate a meal, or if you've got a wet meal in a packet, you can put it in the pan and it's boiling water quick and it's gonna get you food. But if you wanna cook, you wanna really cook. I did learn quite early on that I needed two burners. I needed
Yeah.
two burners, which I had my briefcase burnery thing that broke quite quickly. I replaced that with a twin burner, one of those, because I thought, well, two's better than one. Sadly, one of those broke really early on, so it was just a one burner, but I was taking a massive briefcase with two burners in it, which is like the real, you know.
And you're a cheap ass, so it's like, well,
Yeah,
it's still 50%
yeah,
good.
one of them's still working, so I'm still going to take it because I am a cheap arse. Thanks, Ed.
Hey, Yorkshire ways, Tim. You can't
I
unlearn that stuff. You can't
know.
unlearn it.
Oh gosh. Um, but actually, I did learn that actually, if I was cooking anything really that wasn't a packet meal, you really ideally needed two burners. You needed two flames to actually do something. So for this one, I'm only going with what I've got now because it's the best piece of kit I think I own. It's the Jetboil Genesis,
You
and
use it as far more, and you even get the Jetboil Genesis out and put your Mighty Mo pan on it.
yeah, I do because
Yeah, you get
it's
it out, you set it up. There's no surprises there.
no,
I'd
no.
have been surprised if it wasn't a Jetboil Genesis.
Yeah, yeah. It's, some of the meals I've been able to cook on that is it's as good as cooking at home. It's such a brilliant thing and very economical with gas, which again you don't understand when you're first getting into stuff that different gas burns at different temperatures, burns quicker. You don't understand all of that, and actually buying something that's slightly more quality that will cost you more, it utilizes the gas in a more economical way. And the Jetboil Genesis is just a great piece of kit. And doesn't take up loads of space. Packs down into itself, comes with its own massive frying pan and its own pot. So not only do you get something to cook with, you get something to cook in that purchase. So you're not having to borrow pans from home, which I did do when I first went camping. So expensive piece of kit, there's no getting away from it. It is not a cheap piece of kit, but it is worth every penny of
And
of
yours, you've had for a couple of years now,
that.
roughly.
Yes, gosh, yeah, it is. It
Yeah,
is
yeah.
now. Yeah,
It still looks brand new. It's
yeah,
one of the sexiest two burner stoves out there for sure.
yep. And there
So
are,
it is packable
yeah.
compared to those twin burners that are like briefcase type things.
Mm.
And you know what? It's a beautiful bit of kit. I've just invested in one.
Yeah,
Thank you so much.
yeah. Well, you've
You
seen
know,
you've seen what I've been able to do with mine, and
I know. That's why I'm thanking you. Thank you so much.
it's
So
there are other twin burner things out there, as you say. I think the importance is
Primus
that
do some beautiful looking
yeah,
ones.
Dometic. We saw some
You know,
Dometic twin
yeah,
burners at one of the shows. Van Gogh
some
do a
hot
great
plate
twin.
type things coming
Yeah,
out, but that's not the one that you want. It's the
no.
Jenny.
I want the Jenny. I want the Jenny. I think the importance is you do need a twin burner. It's
Yeah,
you know, it's if because it gives you the options to do loads of stuff, loads and
yeah,
you can do that quick meal on it. Of course you can, but you can also, I've done a risotto, a slow risotto,
yeah,
in the field. It's crazy what you can do in that piece of kit. It's amazing. So we've got something to cook on. Comes with its own pan, so you're cooking in. Cooking with, you've got the MSR kit. Serving on. Now, I have a bit of a pet peeve of I hate eating off plastic in the camping field. It makes me feel like I'm 3 years old and I'm not allowed to have real plates. It's like those really cheap picnic
yeah.
sets. It's like get some metal enamel plates, or I've got those beautiful North Face plates that you got me, and they are beautiful. But my enamel wear has gone now; it has disappeared. But I would actually say if I was just getting into camping now, I would say go and get some enamel ware, a big plate, and a bowl, and you'll get them both of them for less than a tenner, and they will last you as long as you're alive because there's nothing can go wrong with those.
Yeah.
And there's something really to be said for having a proper metal plate that you're eating off and not some bit of plastic that you put a hot meal on and it starts to warm the plastic up and it starts to bend and melt, and it's just get a proper plate. Get a proper plate.
Yeah, you're right. I've had for years a Snow Peak titanium little tiny thing, which I got when I had ultra lightweight, ultra things, and actually I've not updated it since.
Mm.
I have had a couple of enamel plates, some portional ones, and they're kind of my go-to now.
Yeah.
They were a wonderful gift from somebody at Christmas, and I do like them. I love them. They look really nice. And you know what? That heat transfer that comes through the little titaniums, which they're almost too hot to handle. You can't put them on your lap while you're eating, which is what you need to do.
Yeah.
They actually they do warm up, but not in the same way that they become roasting hot like the titanium things. So
Hmm.
I fully endorse and agree with what you've got, and I take no umbrage with the fact that I've just spent a small fortune on importing some Japanese North Face ones. It's about the aesthetic, Tim, with me. You know that.
No,
I know you
and
love them, and whether
yeah,
you use them or not, I know you appreciate what they are. So, that's the thing.
I I do love them, and my kit now is them. My enamel stuff's gone. I'm only using those North Face things. But if I was
Yeah,
knowing
yeah,
what I
yeah.
know now and getting into camping, I wouldn't go and get some North Face plates because they're a beautiful gift. What I would do is I'd go and get some enamel wear because you can get it for 10 quid. You get it, you
Yep.
get a bowl and a plate for less than £10, guaranteed. And
Have you seen those Snow Peak enamels that are coming
no,
out?
they're not going to be £10.
Tim, I can't even import them. They're so much.
Oh my
So they're
God.
only in Japan. From Amazon Japan, they are £110 just for delivery.
Oh my God.
That is a price that says, no, we don't want these being bought somewhere else and shipping them around the world.
Yeah,
So,
yeah, yeah.
well,
Oh my God. And it's just enamel wear. It's not like
it's
doesn't
enamel wear, but it has that little handle that fits on.
uh,
They're
uh
beautiful. I think there's a company called Fortis that does originally, and they're doing
wow.
versions for the Snow Peak. They'd be on my list. They'd be
Yeah.
on my birthday list, but nobody's going to get them.
No, nobody's gonna get them. It's wow. Wow. So that's my cooking setup, all sort of done.
Brilliant.
Which gives me lots of versatility for cooking anything and everything. And really, if once you've bought all of this stuff, you are set up. You could just go camping for like 10 years and not have to change anything quite easily because
Yeah,
it's all like
yeah.
perfect stuff. Um, what else have I got on my list? So we've done tent, we've done bed, we've done sleeping bag, we've done chair, we've done storage, we've done cooking. We get to the really not sexy stuff, but a table. Um,
I was thinking a table, cooking at a decent height
yeah.
is something I learned really early on. Sat on a chair, doubled over, and it doesn't aid drinking, doesn't aid cooking, doesn't aid food. So I was hoping that a table would be in there.
It is in there because I thought it took me years to realize the importance of a table. First camping trips, it was like everything was on your knees, and actually I've then gone through a number of iterations of different tables. The table I use now is the table that I think is brilliant, and um, it's on the list for that reason. It's the um, All Pro table, the 80 by 60 centimeters. They do a larger one, but I don't think you need to go that large. What I love most about it is one, it packs up to nothing, but two, it's got adjustable legs, and that's what I think probably should be on the list is an adjustable table. Because that gives you the benefit of having something that's at a good height to stand at and cook. You can also pull your chair up and sit up against it to actually eat if you want to, but then you can also lower it down, so it's a bit like a chair side table for putting drinks and snacks on. And I'm going with the Old Pro table that I've got because it's a brilliant table. But what I'm suggesting is you have an adjustable table, a table with adjustable legs, so that you can raise it up and bring it down, dependent on what you're needing it for.
Yeah.
Not sexy, but actually really important.
Just really important. And, I know what you're saying there. I think you've covered a hell of a lot of ground there, Tim.
I think I have.
You
And
know, I mean, it's 30 years, 25, 30 years worth of experience there.
yeah, yeah. I there are, I could go endlessly into lights, power, loads of other stuff, and really dial it down. But to be honest, that's kind of the main things that if you're going shopping now and you've never been camping before, yeah, that's quite an expensive shopping list. But actually, it's
If that lasts you 10 years,
yeah,
more than probably.
more than.
And yeah. And okay, we're gear junkies, aren't we?
Of
We
course we
like the
are.
new we like the new and shiny, and I'm sure there'll be something that attracts us over the coming years and stuff. But once you've got that core thing down,
Mhm.
the variances of what you need to do when you're camping is covered by that, a reasonable sized tent, good chair, good, there might be other things that come along, but, mostly you're covered.
Yeah, yeah. And all of that will go with a bigger tent if you want to buy a bigger tent. And
Yeah.
most of that will go with a little hiking tent if you want to get a little hiking tent. Because you can take
And
the sim off.
yeah.
You can take the sim off the camp bed and just take the foldy up camp bed with a little hiking tent. So it gives you all of that equipment, gives you the versatility to flex to either something smaller or something bigger. So then you purchase two other tents, but it allows you to do, if your family extends, you can still go family camping with all of that. Yes, you might have bought a really expensive double burner stove, but that's going to go with everything that you're using. So it's making those first purchases really important purchases that are going to really last you for 10, 15, 20 years worth of camping. And
Yeah. Yeah. And you know what? Buying good also means that if you do choose to level up with something else, or you find that it's not right, because sometimes that happens, this
yeah,
is your list. And what this episode is about, listeners, is, getting you to think about the stuff. Like we've said, we came to sleeping bag and mattresses late on. We've
oh
updated
God,
everything. We've got this. And actually, you know, our key learning was we should have started with that and should have invested the most amount of money, because
yeah.
your sleep is the best thing. It's the thing that recharges you. And it's about getting you to think about that. Have you had fun comprising that
I've
list?
I've had really good fun going through all that. I went at it in making a list of generic sort of topics of tent, bed, sleeping bag. I went through, well, what would you need? What's the core stuff that you need? And then I literally the always the fun bit. I went shopping, and I went virtually shopping and finding stuff, and it's been really good fun as that. I've really liked you setting me that challenge. I'm going to have to set you something next time, and set you off and see what you can find, because it's good fun. It's good fun.
Just open and let me loose in a Snow Peak shop, Tim. It'll be quite boring. I've been going, yeah, I'd have a Snow Peak that. Yeah, I'd have a Snow Peak that. Yeah. So,
Do you
mine
know
would
what?
be dull, dull, dull.
Do you know what we should do? We should just rock up at St James's shop one day with the microphones and just go, can we just do an episode from downstairs? We don't want to talk to you guys, but can we just like literally walk around and just, but it would mainly just be you going, yeah, I'll have one of them. Yeah, I'll have one of them.
You'd get no sense from me, Tim. It'd be like, those early Beatles gigs. It'd be like, tongues! Tongues! They've got tongues!
Spatula! I love a spatula!
I might have said those words.
Oh God, I've got that Dolan spatula to give you. I meant to give it to you when we were
Oh.
camping, but you can have that, because it's gonna scratch my Genesis. I don't want to scratch Jenny's face. It's
Oh.
but yeah.
Oh, well,
Should we go for a minute mindfulness?
yes, let's.
Welcome to the Casual Camping Minute Mindfulness. Let the sounds of nature take you back to the camping field.
No, we needed that calming down. I haven't added all of this up, but I reckon it's more than £50, which is what
Yeah.
I spent on my first tens.
I think I spent £20 on my first tent, and I went halfers with my mate.
Wow.
And we used it a lot. And yeah, it was brilliant. And it got me into camping. So,
Yeah.
you don't have to spend an awful lot. There are some cheap tents out there. You also get what you pay for. And
Yeah.
depending on what your pocket size is, think about first, second hand, borrowing. We've said it before. Sometimes somebody will have, I've got lending stuff, not much, but
Yeah.
I'll vet you depending on who you are.
I've got a couple of lending tents that actually have dropped down into the lending tent section now. It's but companies like Van Gogh actually do an outlet. So there are companies out there that do outlet stuff as well. We've borrowed stuff from Van Gogh. That stuff's now on their website selling cheaper. So there are other avenues to get really high quality pieces of kit.
We've ruined it for them. Is that what you're saying, Tim?
Well, I think you admitted to soiling yours, Ed, in a previous episode.
Hey, everything is comedy. Don't trust what Ade says. I do change my pants, honestly.
Oh God!
Right, well, your dinner's ready, so we better wrap this up.
Yeah.
Catch us on the socials, people. Thank you once again for listening, and thanks for the support. It really means a lot, and we'll catch you on the next one.
You take care, everybody. Bye-bye.
Casual Camping Podcast accepts no liability and does not officially recommend any products or endorse any techniques discussed in an individual podcast episode or shown on Casual Camping Podcast social media accounts. Individuals should make their own informed decision and risk assessment of any products or advice prior to any purchase or use.